Good evening, everyone, and welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I am your host, your YouTube messiah, and often imitated, never duplicated superstar Tim Vicious. And folks, before I get into this week's show, do want to point out one thing. It's something that's very important to me. It's a very touchy subject. Not many people really know about it, but I recently lost my baby niece to SIDS, and my sister-in-law, she did start up a group charity drive for Spring for SIDS, and I'm asking all of you, anyone that's watching this, if you can, please do whatever you can to help donate to it. $1, $2, $5, $10, whatever. I don't care if it's just $1, you know, or even if it's a nickel. Just whatever you can on that, please give a hand on that. There will be a link to it down below in the description box. If you have any questions, please come to me on Twitter at Tim Vicious or on my Facebook, Tim Ash, and I will be more than happy to direct those questions to my sister-in-law so that way she will be able to help clarify anything with you. Again, the link is down below. Spring for SIDS, the group is Shannon's Butterflies. This is something, I'm completely breaking character altogether. I'm normally a loud foul-mouthed SOB. Right now I'm not, folks. I'm being dead on serious. Please, whatever you can. Even if you can't, share the link with someone that you know can, just so that way it'll help. That's all I ask. And now that I'm done with that, on with this week's show. So, we are talking about Monday Night Raw. It is the go-home Raw for Fastlane, and yeah, I gotta tell you, they did put in an effort to hype up Fastlane. It's just, I don't know, it didn't give me that, oh my god, this is a go-home feel. Obviously, it was the hype for several of the matches, not just one, but several matches were there, which is something that is needed, and I have brought up before countless times about what go-home shows. But anyways, they started off the show with I'm gonna get this thing taken care of. John Cena coming out, pretty much doing the same gimmick he's been for forever, saying on how he's got the odds stacked against him. He's going to rise above. He's going to win. Dude, really? You want to say on how you've changed? No, you haven't, John. The only thing about you that's changed is you stopped being Vanilla Ice and you started being Rob Van Winkle. That's all you really did. And yeah, it was horrible. I was not impressed. I was happy at the fact that the opening promo for Raw was short, which, given on how normally the opening promos for Raw go. But this one was short, which, thank you. But it didn't feel right on that sense, I mean, why have this be the opening? Why not throw some random card filler match? Heaven forbid WWE's ever done that before, Throw in a random card filler match, and then after that, then let Cena come out and do his bit. I don't. That would make sense to me. But anyways, after while Cena was in mid-motion with that, then came out Rusev, and of course, the best part about Rusev, Lana, talking about on how we are going to destroy and crush you. Yeah, and Rusev, I couldn't help but chuckle a little when Rusev was on the mic because he kind of he wound up saying one line, it reminded me of Chekhov from Star Trek. He was like, I will destroy your wife. Or something like that, and it's like, wow. So apparently Chekhov wasn't fake, really was doing a good Russian accent then when he was emphasizing the W's. But anyway, Cena stormed out the ring, climbed up there and threw down a beating on Rusev, which pretty much tells me that Rusev is either going to win or the match is going to end in a no contest. And then Cena's gonna get a match at Mania. You know, that's on how I see it going down. I don't see Cena winning the title now and then Rusev just going and making a random, I want my rematch at WrestleMania. You know, I see it going into a no contest and then climaxing at Extreme Rules, but I'll get to that. But match at Mania, Cena wins, Rusev then gets the rematch and have it be a no DQ or Extreme Rules match. And then that's when that feud climaxes, and then end of first sequence, fade to black. You know, but yeah, Cena did a beatdown on him, and yeah, the only thing I'm actually happy on with this feud is the fact of they have the feud not circling around the guys, but more so the title. And, you know, emphasizing on how Cena's saying, I'm going to win the title. I'm going to beat you and take the title. That, you know, I'm a title mark, you know, and even though I was a backyard guy, even though when I competed, I wanted to go for the titles, and I wanted the titles as much as possible. And, you know, anyone that ever steps in the ring like, dude, you're a title mark. Yeah, of course I fucking am. If you're not a title mark, you obviously ain't winning enough of them, you fucker. You know, but the point I'm getting at, they're putting an emphasis on the title. The U.S. title has history, dating back not just to WCW, but to NWA. Golden days, and I'm talking like the 70s NWA. You know, it reaches back to then. And this title has got a lot of history, and I want to see this title get the credibility it deserves. So I'm hoping that it does. Now, after that, then we come to our first match of the night. Ambrose versus Harper. And big thing that I thought was pretty good with that was, before that, Ambrose cut a little skit pretending to be a news anchor, saying, you know, mocking Barrett's BNZ thing, but saying that he has a contract and he's going to carry it with him and he's going to get Wade Barrett to sign it before the night's over for an Intercontinental title match. And he also said in the skit he beat former Intercontinental Champion Curtis Axel. And now tonight he's going to beat another former Intercontinental Champion, Luke Harper. And this match did not disappoint me one bit. These guys wrestled in Dragon Gate USA. I absolutely love the match. I wish I could have said I saw it, if not live, then live streaming, but I didn't. I only wound up coming across this match some time ago via YouTube, thanks to my one buddy, Michael Cook, in which case, Cookie, thank you for showing me that match. I appreciate that very much, my brother. Now, these two guys, they got good in-ring chemistry. I absolutely love it. I loved them. These guys put on a show, and that's what I wanted. When I watch wrestling, I want a show, and these guys did not disappoint. Probably the best spot in the match to me was Ambrose going for the suicide dive, and while he's still in the air, just like this, Harper catches him. Just straight up catches him. Like that. Like he was a freaking football, and I was just like, holy shit! He just caught him mid-motion in a suicide dive. I obviously, it's been done before by several other people. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but oh my god, that was great in my book. You know, Harper does not disappoint. For a big man, he does not move like a big man. You know, he's like a mix between Bruiser Brody, Cactus Jack, and dare I say, Rey Mysterio, obviously without having fucked up knees. But yeah, that being said, really good match all around. These two guys really good and solid. You know, Harper really connected with a really good super kick. Loved that. And Ambrose, he wound up getting the win, though. He hit the dirty deeds. Bam, got the 1, 2, 3. After that, he grabbed the contract off of the announce table and then walked to the back. And next matchup, we got the Dust Brothers versus the New Day. And Woods is in there. His ankle healed up. Glad to hear on that. But before I get into that, Cody wound up... Not Cody, but Dustin and they're all daddy. Dustin Rose, you know, is the American dream. Because my father was a plumber. He told me, son, if you have a dream, you get that dream, you take it, you hold on to it, and you don't ever let go. You don't ever let go, no matter what. It's the American dream, Dustin Rose. He didn't talk about hard times. And there's my Dusty Rhodes impersonation. I swear, I think the impersonation things are starting to become a random skit on this show without even realizing it. But anyways, they both sat Cody down and were saying, listen, you need to stop with this shit. You are not some cosmic guy with the key and the stars and all that. We're family. We work together. We help each other. And, you know, basically. And it looked like they got through to Cody. And it looked it through the entire match. Now, obviously, the match, it was basically like, just basically two tag teams being mechanics, you know, working the ring. That's pretty much it, you know. But the end came. Stardust went to go do the disaster kick. Kofi ducked and almost caught Dustin. You okay? Okay? Alright, good. And then Cody ducks, and just as Kofi is kicking, and then Goldust gets hit, gets the pin, 1, 2, 3, and then Cody just like, and helps Goldust up. He's all haggard and worn down. Next thing you know, they go to hug it out. Next thing you know, bam! Crossroads, and oh, that was beautiful. 2 years in, I would like to say 2 years in the making. Not 100% sure on the math. Not all the way there right at the moment. You know, brain's kind of fuzzy. You know. Not a whole lot of caffeine pumping through me, folks. You know, I gotta speak to my producers about getting some more coffee here at the Vicious Studios, but wound up doing that. Cody did that. We've been waiting for this in the making, brother versus brother, and just like the old saying goes, ain't nobody fight like family. You know? The Funks had good matches. Briscoes had good matches. And I'm not talking about Jerry and his brother. No. I'm talking about Mark and Jay in ROH. Them two have gone at it with each other, and you know, those guys are pretty much like the modern day example of when they have matches against each other, ain't nobody fight like family. Don't believe me? Look it up. Trust me, the match was brutal, and it wound up actually costing wound up costing Jay Briscoe his title, and wound up setting a whole chain of events to where it was, for the first time in Ring of Honor history, the title had to be vacated. Moving on with the random wrestling nerd information. Stardust was in the back. Dusty wound up going to him, like, "What was that? What was that? What are you doing? We're blood." And then Stardust just looked at him, like, "As far as I'm concerned, Cody's dead, and so is my father. I'm only Stardust," and wow. So, the match we're going to wind up eventually getting is going to be, we're eventually going to get, Stardust versus Goldust. I'm hoping, though, if they do it right, make Stardust versus Goldust as an impromptu at Fastlane, and then have Goldust put such a beating on him that he goes back to his Cody Rhodes, goes back to being like Cody Rhodes, and then goes like that at Mania. And then we get a match between them two at Mania. That's me, though. That's on how I'd book it. But anyways, next matchup we got Roman versus Kane, and they had Bryan on the commentary the whole time. And I am a bit of a Bryan fan. No doubt on that. I'm no hiding on that, as any of you have obviously seen. Thing is, though, what I didn't like during it was when you have a guest commentator. If it's a heel commentator, they do nothing but go to bury the competition, and I mean try and make the opponent that they're going against look like the lowest of low. But when you got a face competition, or face commentator, guest commentator, all they go to do is basically just go and try and say, "Oh, well, he could say that all he wants." Dude, I'm good, and here's how. Bryan, he really wasn't doing any of that. It was more, he was saying 2 or 3 things, saying, "Oh yeah, Roman thinks I don't deserve this or that," and then goes out and pulls out a yes chant. I didn't like it. I mean, obviously, Roman was actually working pretty decent in the ring tonight with Kane, and I thought the match was pretty okay. I mean, it was your average Monday night match. Obviously, it wasn't a pay-per-view quality match, but it was a good match, I mean, Kane wound up getting the win, and so yeah. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of the fact that Bryan was there and the way he was acting on there with commentary wise. It didn't feel right to me. Next up we got an ST Divas match. Summer Rae versus Paige. But wait. Well, actually, you may want to wait because you want to get your penicillin because of the fact that it's an ST Divas match. But there's a twist. Paige didn't come out in her normal ring attire. Oh, no, no, no. Instead, before the match, the Bellas wound up going into the women's locker room and stole her ring gear, and Paige came out with just a towel on. Where's my gear? I have a match soon. And then just looking around, next thing you know, saw a giant group of Rosebuds doing oh, oh, oh. Only good part about with the Rosebuds was that Mia Yim was there, which was really cool. Wish the fact that, you know, like I said before, I'm getting sick of seeing the Rosebuds having all top quality good indie talent and, you know, and not putting them in, not looking to sign them in NXT, but trying to keep my blood pressure under control here, so I'm trying not to explode, folks. But Paige just wound up grabbing the one random girl's like, alright, you, come here. And took her outfit, and she came out and she looked like a very skinny Yerple the Clown from the Rock This Is Your Life segment all those years ago. Yeah. That or the Lollipop Fairy from Candyland. Whichever one you want to say she looked like. But either way, she came out looking like that, and well, it was your average ST Divas match, and Paige won doing the Scorpion armbar, Scorpion crosslock, I should say. Yeah. And yeah. But after that, next thing you know, the Bellas came out. Oh, way to go, loser. Dude, really? She just won the match. Why are you calling her the loser? You just made yourself look like an idiot. And then Paige, probably in the most anti-diva way, the most anti-diva thing she's done yet, just wound up grabbing a mic saying, you know what? Here's the difference between me and you. I don't need an outfit to have talent. Or something along those lines, which I thought was fucking phenomenal because, you know, you gotta throw cheap shots and little quick jabs like that at your opponents on the mic, you know, to help sell the match. You know, you don't just go and do, well, I'm going to beat you. Yeah, well, I'm going to beat you. No. No, say something to make me be like, oh, snap, that one's saying something, you know, I think that one's going to win. You know, something like that. But next up, Seth versus Dolph, and surprisingly, there wasn't that many jokes or ribs thrown out there about Seth with the whole picture thing. Not going to go into detail on that because kids are watching the show, and I'm trying not to have too many kids get mad because I don't want to go so many weeks straight doing earmuffs. But I'll just leave it at that, you know. But surprisingly, no, there wasn't really any. I mean, Dolph threw out one quick pun on Seth, saying, "Oh, what's the matter, Seth? You look like you had a bad Valentine's Day." You know, before the match, but, you know, that was pretty much it. Other than that, though, nothing else. I mean, the match between them two, though, solid. Probably, not even probably, hands down, the match of the night. And, you know, I absolutely loved it. These two guys have got really good in-ring chemistry together. You know, one thing that kind of got me, though, at first was the fact on the ref threw J&J security out, and right at the beginning of the match. Now, obviously, J&J, yeah, bad guys, they're going to get banned from ringside. They're going to get tossed out, but they didn't get a chance to do something to get thrown out first. You know, they were just about to, that's it. The most they did was run over to Dolph, next thing you know, just circle over him, and next thing you know, the ref was like, hey, stop. You got to get out. And then the ref was like, wait, what? And they were like, wait, what? You know, I mean, at least let it look like they were about to do something, you know, like grab Dolph at first, and then the ref yell at them. I mean, I don't know, that's just me and classic heel mindset, you know, being caught in the act. That's just it though. But on with the match, you know, it was good. I absolutely loved it. You know, match wound up coming to an end. Ziggler wound up hitting the zigzag just as he had the legs hooked, 1, 2, and then Noble Mercury wound up running down and started beating the crap out of Dolph, and then out comes Ryback and Rowan, and you know, so chances are we're going to be looking at a trios match between them two, if not at Fastlane, then possibly at Mania. Which is kind of sad because I was hoping for Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins at Mania, considering the history that those two had before he came back, before he left. You know, but next matchup, it was the Ascension versus Derek Young and the mystery white guy that just stood next to him ominously. And can't even really say this was a match because the bell never rang, but yet the fact is though, Derek Young wound up getting him on TV again. Really great and glad to see on that, you know. Guy looks a lot more, you know, the time away, the recover from injury was paid off for him. He looks a lot more jacked, like he packed on a good 10, maybe 15 pounds of more muscle. You know, dude looks in phenomenal shape. He was a good wrestler to begin with, you know, hoping he's still just as good, you know, but Ascension came in, they beat the crap out of they were starting to work on beating up Darren. Nexio tossed that ominous white guy. And it looked like they were just about to go and beat the crap out of Darren when next thing you know, Titus came out. That's right. Titus O'Neil came out and started going to town on the Ascension also. Next thing you know, we got ourselves a little Primetime Players reunion. I absolutely loved that idea because, again, tag team mark in me. Don't go getting too mad, folks. You know, but in all seriousness, we need good tag teams. You know, if you want to have Derek or Titus go and chase after singles titles, go ahead, let them. But still have them say they're part of this tag team still. Just, you know, be like, yeah, I'm still part of the tag team. I'm just doing this as a side thing also. You know, good example, the New Age Outlaws did that. Road Dogg went after the Hardcore title, Billy Gunn went after the Intercontinental title, but they were still a tag team nonetheless. It makes sense. You have them both work, you know, you can have them work like that. But, you know, maybe we're going to wind up seeing a match between them down the road. I don't know. Hopefully we can get something good. Mania with WrestleMania right around the corner, you know, possibilities for bookings and possibilities on what could be on the card is through the roof. Next up, we had Wade Barrett versus Mizdow, and I thought it was kind of funny because of the fact of every time Mizdow started to get offense, next thing you know, Miz would just be like, grab the mic, ding, ling, 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 stop, stop, the bell is ringing. The bell is ringing. He is playing this stuck-up prima donna actor bit to a T. I'm not even sure he's really acting this gimmick. I'm pretty sure he really is like that. You know, which is saying something considering all he's done is just straight to DVD movies. You know? But, yeah, he would do... Mizdow, there's a scuff on my shoe. Can you wipe it off, please? Go and do it, come back in, and that's when Barrett would get offense. And then Mizdow would have to fight his way back. And then next thing you know, ding-ling-ling, stop, stop, stop! But Mizdow was actually pulling off Miz better than The Miz. And you know, he was throwing out his moves a hell of a lot better. And, yeah, the match came to an end, though, when Miz called him out saying, "There's a spot on my glasses, I need you to wipe it off." And you could see in the background, Barrett's warming up for the bull hammer, and he's like, "Oh, wait, no, never mind. It was just a hair. Carry on then, carry on." And then next thing you know, Barrett, boom, bull hammer, gets the 1, 2, 3. Then next thing you know, right when that happens, Ambrose sneaks in right out of nowhere, starts beating the crap out of Barrett, and then grabs out a set of zip ties, ties him to the ring post, and then goes over, grabs a pen off of Booker T, and then forces Barrett to sign the contract saying, "Now, Fastlane, you're mine. I'm getting that Intercontinental title," which, yeah, that's pretty cool. That was pretty cool doing that. You know, I mean, obviously, now, on how I'm seeing on how this could go, Ambrose wins. Next thing you know, Barrett goes and pulls an argument saying he never fully legally agreed to that match and thus is entitled to, and thus the title should be stripped from him. And then they wind up having a match at WrestleMania, so that way, you know, Ambrose gets his WrestleMania moment with winning the title. Now, I'm putting a lot of stuff saying WrestleMania, WrestleMania, WrestleMania on this show because it's the kind of mindset and the kind of booking and the mentality I have. I will pay attention to what's going on right now, but I am going to think, what do I have down the road? What do I have to do, and what am I seeing down the road? What's going to be in the next 5 pages from now? That's what I need to focus on. That's the kind of mentality and that's the kind of mindset and the booking style I've had. You know, that's on how I see things as far as with it. But, you know, I can see that happening with them, and I'm kind of hoping that does. You know, that, and above all else, I do not want Ambrose to get the Wade Barrett treatment for WrestleMania. And for those that don't know what I'm talking about, you know, Barrett dropping the Intercontinental title to Miz on the pre-show the 1 year at Mania, and then the following night on Raw winning it right back, which was just a giant what the fuck. Next up, intergender tag match. Next up, not even intergender, mixed tag match, because if you had intergender, then you'd have to have the boys fight the girls. One of the Usos, I think it was Uso 2 versus Naomi. I remember it's Naomi because it spells Imone backwards. Versus Tyson Kidd and Natalya. And I gotta tell you, I was digging the hell out of how Kidd was working it. It was beautiful psychology on how being a bad guy and hiding behind your girl. You know, hiding behind your woman valet. You know, he would go in, piss off the Uso, and then run to his corner, tag her in. And tag in Natty, because then the Uso would have to go and tag in Naomi, and then they would have to wrestle, and then it would go like that. But the Usos wound up getting the win because, you know, it was Natty and Naomi, they were going at it for a minute, and then they were reversing pins on each other, and then Naomi got the 1, 2, 3. But big thing that they did announce before that match started was Kidd and Cesaro are getting a tag title match at Fastlane. Thank you, God Almighty. Please let them win. And also, in regards to the guy that hacked Cesaro's Twitter account and was putting out all that crap, especially the one about saying that they wanted McMahon to die from cancer, sit and spin. You know, but yeah. Yeah, they did that. They won, and Kidd just looks, he was like, what happened? Why didn't you do it? Get the sharpshooter, you know? Get the legs up, put your foot around, and then turn around, pull. Yes? Huh? It was good because, kid hopped out the ring, and Cesaro was next to him, actually comforting him, and it played beautifully because they're playing like, okay, yeah, yeah, it's you and me. Oh, and her, yeah, can't forget about what's her name. That's on how it felt, and I loved it. Anyways, main event of the night now. Daniel Bryan versus Big Show, and Roman was ringside. They were obviously looking to give a tit for tat kind of feel, but instead of having Roman on commentary, what they did, they just had Roman sitting ringside, like, yeah. Oh, hey, that was a good move. And then start antagonizing and going along with the crowd, like grabbing swag, grabbing shirts, tossing it out to the crowd, going over with people like, oh yeah, hey, let's take a picture. Click. Doing things like that, doing that to go and distract Bryan. Now, the whole time during that, while Bryan was getting in offense, Show was coming off strong. And everyone knows on how I feel about Big Show, but it was needed. It's really much so needed because Big Show, well, at this point, I'm pretty sure if you booked Big Show versus El Torito and in a cage match where you have absolutely zero chance of anyone doing any kind of interference, I'm pretty sure Torito would get booked for the win because on how Show's looks anymore. But he came off looking strong and I liked it. But the match came to an end when Reigns, he came in and speared Big Show, and the reason why he did that was because Big Show got tossed onto Roman Reigns while he was sitting ringside. So he came in the ring, speared Big Show to get back at him, and then wound up just going and doing, and then they wound up doing, here's your winner as a result of a disqualification, Roman Reigns. Now, I gotta tell you, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a fan of the fact that my beloved hometown of Philadelphia booed Roman Reigns when he came out for the Rumble. But it's paying off for him now. Because now it's showing that he's doing that. You know what? I don't give a damn on what you think. I'm here to do my job. Go and win, and then I'm going to win this title. And I'm liking it. I'm hoping this leads to an eventual good heel turn with him, so that way we can get a nice good heel run with Reigns. Because it can add an extra layer to his character. But moving on with the show itself, after they announced Reigns won the DQ, or Big Show won with the DQ, Reigns turned around where Bryan was sitting up on the on top of the turnbuckle. Wham! Hit him with a drop kick. They started slugging it. They were going at it good. I mean, Reigns even got a busted lip, and you could see blood in his mouth. You saw blood in his teeth and all. They were going at it pretty good, and it was a nice hot finish to the show, and it was really nice. All in all, out of a 1 to 5, I give it a good 4.5. The only reason why it didn't get a 5 is because, like I said, while it was a go-home show and they hyped up the other matches for the show, it didn't have that go-home feel. They did everything that they were supposed to for a go-home show, but they just didn't have that feel. Which, that kind of felt like, I just was like, huh? But yeah, that's it for this week's show, folks. So, like all normal, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch all the other episodes. Look for me on Twitter at Tim Vicious. Make sure y'all look for my backup account, Tim_Vicious. Like I said, also, click the link down below. Spring for SIDS. The group is Shannon's Butterflies. You know, if you have any questions, contact me on Twitter or on my Facebook gimmick where I go as Tim Ash, because I still believe in kayfabe and I ain't putting my real last name out there. Now, you guys can contact me and I will be more than happy to pass any and all questions in regards to Spring for SIDS to my sister-in-law, and you know, to her for that. And if any of you cannot donate, that's not a problem. Pass the link along to other people, so that way maybe you can pass that along to someone who can, so you're still helping in some kind of a way. Because this is something that is serious, and really will appreciate any and all contributions, even if it's in regards to something like that. You don't have to just do money. You can help just by passing it along to someone, you know. Now also, folks, do not forget to follow all of these cool ass cats right here on Twitter. Vicky Earls, make sure y'all check out Vicky's YouTube page as well as her podcast, The Celtic Commodity. I am Danny Sunday, Mucky Morris, Axel Mulligan. Folks, my good brother, the good brother Axel Mulligan, he did have his final farewell this week with his Axel's Wrestling Review podcast. You know, brother, if anyone can understand on why you have to step down for a bit, trust me, I can relate. I have had to do that on here on one occasion. I appreciate everything you said about me on there. You are still, like I said, hands down, one of, if not the most educated fans of this sport I have ever had the courtesy to have a conversation with. You know? I feel, in a way, I kind of feel selfish because I want you to stay on because I love hearing your views and opinions. But on the same hand, I understand why you gotta go. All things considered, though, do what you gotta do to help yourself. And if you ever get the itch to come back, you know I got you, brother. Also, do not forget to follow Sunday Segway. I did guest star on there this past week. The pre-episode 99, Kenny. I know it's early, but brother, congratulations on 100 episodes. And here's to hoping to so many more on down the road. Go make sure you also follow Cranky Grandpa, Legion Lady Aaron, the two pieces of shit, Oliver Ben, and Just a Stupid Mark, as well as my client, who, as I have said before, is the true Raw General Manager, Bronx Bitch 4, that's the number 4 ever. And, like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck yous.